other of our colleagues.
Okay.
Well, the first question, I'm going to reproduce it in the chat. The question from Marco Antonio Piña is, how does weak rule of law increase agency profits?
Studies have shown that where the law is very weak, there, yes, managers are able to exercise more dominance, especially where the rights of shareholders are very weak. If I look at India, for example, laws are very strong actually, but implementations of those laws are very weak, which allows the directors or the dominant shareholder to therefore misuse his or her power.
Thank you. The second question is of Dr. Lourdes Salinas. What are the main governance key performance indicators you recommend to ensure continuity?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. What do you mean by continuity?
The main governance key performance indicators you recommend to ensure the continuity of the company.
Oh, a difficult one. I don't think I remember seeing any work on governance parameters as in terms of continuity. So continuity is generally measured in terms of one way would be is looking at whether the board is actually able to create value. So again, that would come back to financial parameters, not necessarily governance parameters, because governance parameters is mostly measured as an independent variable, though recently people have started looking at it as a dependent variable. So if it's an independent variable, it is not the outcome.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Dr. Blanca Ramirez. How does Dr. Shital reconcile efficiency with transparency and accountability in her governance model?
Right. So if efficiency doesn't mean that I can be transparent or the managers should not be accountable. As a matter of fact, if they are accountable to the shareholders, automatically it would lead to efficiency. But if you remember, we talked about the stewardship theory, and the stewardship theory argues that if shareholders are given a lot of power, if we don't constantly check them, they would be able to give better results for the company. But that doesn't mean that they're not accountable. They are accountable. We are just saying that they don't need to be, checked every quarter or every month. But doesn't mean they're not accountable to the shareholders. So accountability, in my opinion, in no way reduces the efficiency of the company.
Thank you. We have another question. Is Dr. Joel Mendoza question. Have corporate governance studies been conducted in small and medium-sized enterprises? And if so, what have the results been?
Some studies have happened, but I'm sorry, that's not an area I work in. I would not be able to answer what the results are because it's not an area I work on. Primarily because small and medium-sized companies, because if they're not listed, data would be an issue. Some work has been done, but not an area that I work in. Won't be able to answer that question.
Thank you. We have a question of Dr. Enoch Gutierrez Payares. It says, how can good practices within organizations regarding internal control be guaranteed without jeopardizing their trajectory to the point of extinction, in addition to the supervision of stakeholders' functions?
So for the first part, internal controls, they're very well established systems, and with advanced enterprise softwares like SAP, internal control has now becoming pretty well controlled. So computer-based softwares have come in which can pretty well control it. And I think with AI coming in, I think internal control will be in a much better position. So everything could be pretty automatic, and scope for fraud or errors will significantly come down unless I actually am able to fiddle with the AI itself. Um, what is the second part? In addition to the supervision of stakeholders. Yeah, so stakeholders are so stakeholders predominantly give this responsibility to the audit committee, which is a committee of the board, and which primarily consists of people with experts in finance, and with the help in connection with the auditors, who are again professionals and independent outside professionals. The internal control processes are generally put in place, but as I said, I think with AI coming in, this will soon not become a pretty standardized process. I don't think it would become much more of a concern.
Thank you.
I think there was a question earlier on somewhere.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Another question is, Dr. Marco Antonio Piña, what lessons can emerging economies learn from countries with strong governance frameworks?
And as I was saying, some of the work which we have recently started seeing is contextual, which is predominantly saying what works in the developed economies doesn't work in emerging economies. Because corporate governance is not just about rules, it's about the culture, it's about the values that we have. For example, if I look at countries like India or Japan, most Asian countries, family is very important. Uh, Relationships are very important. So I don't fire employees, unlike the US, where firing is a very common practice. So if I want to reduce profits, I just fire employees. That won't happen in India so easily. So we have found when we try to replicate what is done in the developed countries, it is not working very well in other countries, and there is a need to look at more country specific practices where that institutional theory sort of comes to in thing.
Thank you. I have a question, Doctor. I have the interest in knowing how you got involved in the field of governance. It's a subject, a very interesting subject. How you got involved in that?
Actually, when I was doing my MBA way back in 2002, we had this paper. With that time, corporate governance was very new, and one of our professors had. We had the subject on corporate governance, and that too agency theory. He presumably only talked about agency theory, and I sort of fell in love with it there and then.
Thank you. It's very interesting. We have a question of Dr. Enoch Gutierrez. Doctor, it's written. If you like to read it, it's a long one.
The family business one?
No, the second is what is the second?
Well, the basic minimum criteria that a company in any part of the world should consider to get on track in the world of corporate governance that defines balance without being overwhelmed by the requirement that requires which are the main actors that should start by dealing with it. So, obviously, as I said in the first part, three main actors: the shareholders, the board, and the management. Uh, where the board has been given the predominant role of ensuring that the company is run properly, whereas the management is to run the business. It is the job of the board to ensure that the company is governed properly, but it is the shareholders or the other stakeholders who choose the board. And therefore, it becomes the responsibility of these shareholders to ensure that uh, then choose the right directors and keep on check on them, monitor them, so that they continue to work in the interest of the company. And if they feel that the directors are not working in their interest, then it is for them to replace them. However, most companies that we see, you'll find that shareholders don't actually actively participate in meetings, shareholder meetings. They don't actually look at what the directors are doing, which is why we keep having scam after scam after scam. So if shareholders are actually active, then most of these problems won't happen.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Marco Piña, his question is, how can firms mitigate political risks in weak institutional context?
How can we mitigate political risk?
Yes.
A very difficult question. So I uh, I generally argue, irrespective of all the rules and regulations and very stringent rules have come up in most of the countries today, ultimately it comes down to the ethics of the individuals who are sitting on the company, both the management and the board. And so political risk, sorry, let me clarify. What do you mean by political risk? One is, so in India, we have interference from the government, which is a political risk, or are we looking at global geopolitical issues?
I think Dr. Piña refers to political internal issues.
Okay, internal issues. Uh, so if you're looking at internal politics, as I said, uh, this has been again a growing area, an area of my interest, where directors fight with each other or managers exercise a lot of dominance. And if the chairperson is setting clear rules and regulations and ensuring that everyone in the board gets a chance to speak, express themselves, not afraid to share their opinions. And several rules have also come in, like independent directors should have a fixed tenure so that they don't get too close to the management. So a mix of both rules as well as culture within the board and within the company, I think, could help mitigate these problems.
Thank you. Doctor, I have a question. Governance and this type of organization of a company is a cultural issue. So there are programs or how to communicate, socialize, and to to share those ideas within a company. Is a difficult task, or is something organic to
No, so it's both organic. For example, if I look at a family-run business, so if you look at Tesla, for example, whatever Elon Musk, his behavior, his attitude is what the company will also follow. Aggressive, fast-growing. So it's sort of organic. That is the kind of people that come in. That is the kind. But good companies try to build cultures over a period of time where they could provide training, they could provide various other incentives to behave in a particular way. So it could be both some amount of organic and some we could actually facilitate through training and others. For example, treating women at par to men, which is something most companies across the world have been working on, actually looking at training programs, looking at some kind of orientation towards that.
Thank you, Doctor. We have a faculty. If you can share your presentation with us, it could be possible.
Uh, Actually, this is a work in progress.
Okay.
What I could do is send you the list of theories that I could do, that tables I could share with you.
Please, we are very interested in that, in the theories, because we're doing the framework for our masters.
That's an established, those are established theories, so I can send you a list of the theories with their summaries.
Thank you very much. Last question, I believe Dr. Bel Mendoza asks, we will fight to secure funding for a project to invite him to Mexico. Until then, we propose a collaborative research project. It's an offer of Dr. Joel. If you will accept an offer to...
Yes, I would be happy to do some joint work. Would be more than happy to look at that. We could look at some India-Mexican joint firms. So we're both predominantly family-based businesses. Yes.
Thank you.
And I think corruption is also pretty high in both our countries. So yes, that's something we could look at.
Thank you very much. Doctora Liliana, ¿algún mensaje que quieras que le traduzca la doctora Jhunjhunwala? Con todo gusto.
Muchas gracias. Muy buenas a todos. Una disculpa por no dirigirme en inglés. A nombre de la Universidad Autónoma del Estado de México, le comparto que, bueno, para nosotros esta serie de actividades suma mucho para la formación de nosotros como investigadores, para el fortalecimiento de nuestros cuerpos de investigación. Y bueno, ha sido una mañana para mí muy productiva, de mucho aprendizaje, y le agradezco mucho que nos haya compartido sus conocimientos, además de que, bueno, debo compartir también que hemos estado revisando algunos de sus textos y, bueno, que suman mucho a nuestro desarrollo profesional. Muchas gracias.
Doctora Liliana Mendoza, she's our general coordinator of the campus, and she thanks you for your time. We have learned so much about you today, but we have been for a month studying and talking about your book. So we know you very well in that regard. Thank you in the name of the Autonomous University of the State of Mexico.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure talking to all of you and interacting with all of you. And I hope we could definitely look at some research collaboration at a future, in the coming days. That would definitely be something I would also like to look forward to.
We look forward to.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you to everyone. Gracias a todos y a todas. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall I close?
Say again, please.
Shall I close? Are we done?
Yes, terminamos, ¿verdad, compañeros, compañeras? Sí. Yes, thank you, doctor.
Right.
Doctor,
Thank you.
can you pronounce your name? Are you Shital or Shital?
Shital.
Shital.
Shital
Shital actually means cool water. Yeah, Jhunjhunwala.
Jhunjhunwala.
Shital
Okay.
Jhunjhunwala.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Mhm.